If you have dogs, you've certainly noticed that most of the time they do some pretty curious things. Some even seem to be constantly trying to get your attention, following you everywhere, while others prefer to let loose their wild side. But that's not all. Get ready, because now you're about to discover 15 strange dog behaviors and the explanations behind each one. Number 15. Chasing their own tails. Almost every dog that's ever lived has tried chasing their own tail. They spin around in circles trying to catch it. Some dogs do this more often than others, but pretty much all of them have tried it at least once. Although it might look uncomfortable and extremely odd, there's a simple explanation behind it. They're usually just bored. When dogs get bored, they try to fill the time with something productive, and playing is extremely productive to them. If they feel playful and the closest available thing is their own tail, they'll chase it. However, if your dogs are constantly biting their tails non-stop, it might mean something is bothering them in their rear area, and you should take them to the vet for a checkup. Number 14. Spinning around several times before lying down. Have you ever noticed your dogs spinning around in circles multiple times before finally sitting or lying down on their bed? Most people assume they're just trying to make their spot as comfy as possible for a good night's sleep. But that's not quite the case. There's actually a deeper reason behind this behavior. Dogs instinctively know that sleeping makes them vulnerable, exposing them to potential threats. That's why they like to carefully prepare their resting spot before settling down, to find exactly the right position that allows them to react quickly in case an intruder shows up. Number 13. Constantly tilting their heads. You've probably seen plenty of videos of dogs doing that adorable head tilt from side to side. Most of the time, dogs do this because they've heard an unusual sound or words that excite them, like walk. But this behavior doesn't always mean they're simply curious. If your dogs experience discomfort or pain in their ears or even water trapped inside, they'll continuously tilt their heads attempting to relieve that irritation. So if you notice your dogs excessively tilting their heads, it's best to get them checked out by the vet. Number 12. Sniffing other dogs' rear ends. If you've recently adopted dogs, you've probably noticed they frequently sniff other dogs' rear ends, sometimes even sniffing other animals as well. Dogs do this because, for them, the rear end is the equivalent of a human face. Just as every person has a unique face, each dog has its unique scent concentrated specifically in that rear end region. So whenever two dogs meet, they immediately sniff each other's rear ends to confirm their identities. If they already know each other, it's just a friendly greeting. If not, it serves as a formal introduction between unfamiliar dogs. Number 11. Sitting with their rear ends on your feet. No matter how much you love your dogs, you probably don't appreciate them sitting with their rear ends right on top of your feet, right? But you might change your mind once you learn the real reason behind this behavior. When dogs sit on your feet, they aren't using you as a comfy chair. They're actually marking you with their scent. They're letting other dogs know that you belong exclusively to them. Although it's a peculiar way of showing affection, at its core, that's exactly what they're doing. Showing how much they like you and emphasizing your special bond. Number 10. Creating their own secret hideouts. In the wild, dogs had a natural instinct to hunt and carry valuable items back to their dens to consume later. To some extent, this instinct still exists in domestic dogs today. That's why your dogs often pick up random items around the house and take them to a specific location, creating their own private treasure hideouts. Usually, this secret den is located underneath your bed, couch, table, or even in some hidden corner of your house you haven't yet discovered. After all, hiding important objects is completely natural and instinctive behavior for dogs. Number 9. Taking food and carrying it somewhere else. If your dogs tend to pick up their food from the place where you left it and carry it into another room, there could be two possible explanations. If they carry the food far away from you, it could be because they're seeking privacy, possibly feeling threatened or insecure, especially if there are other dogs around the house. On the other hand, if they bring the food closer to you, it might indicate that they're feeling lonely or simply prefer eating near their owner. Number 8. Winking with one eye. If you've ever entered a room and noticed your dogs winking with only one eye, rest assured they're not trying to flirt or charm you. More likely, something is bothering their eye. Unlike humans, Dogs can't look in a mirror to resolve eye issues on their own, so they come to their owners for help. The safest way to clean and soothe your dog's eyes is by using eye drops specially formulated for them, quickly helping relieve irritation and leaving their eyes clean and healthy again. Number 7. Twitching or running movements during sleep. There are plenty of videos online showing dogs twitching or even running while they're asleep. Practically every dog owner has witnessed this behavior, and it can seem pretty weird or even concerning, making you wonder if you should intervene. Actually, just like humans, dogs enter the REM stage of sleep, and these movements or twitches are just natural responses to their dreams. Usually, it's simply an ordinary dream and nothing to worry about. However, if your dogs seem extremely agitated, whining, or howling during their sleep, it might be best to gently wake them up. Still, generally speaking, dogs wake up naturally from these dreams and are perfectly fine afterward. Hey, if you've stayed with me this far, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. That really motivates me to keep creating. Now, let's continue with the video. Number 6. Eating grass. If you've ever seen your dogs eating a lot of grass, don't worry that they might be having an identity crisis or trying to become a different animal. Most likely, they're just attempting to relieve stomach discomfort. Grass contains fiber, and when dogs have digestive problems, they instinctively chew grass to increase their fiber intake. That way, they get a crunchy and healthy snack while simultaneously easing their stomach irritation. Not to mention, sometimes dogs eat grass simply because they're bored. Number 5. Licking people's feet. Dogs have particularly sticky tongues, which might make it seem pretty odd when, out of nowhere, they start licking your feet and getting them all wet. But do you know the meaning behind this? When mother dogs have puppies, they lick their paws to show affection and care. When those puppies grow up and recognize you as their owner, licking your feet can indicate submission, affection, and admiration. Another reason might simply be that they enjoy the taste or smell of your feet, especially if your feet have a strong odor. You might even consider checking your feet to find out which of these reasons applies to your dogs. Number 4. Rolling around in feces. Few things are more frustrating than giving your dogs a bath only to see them immediately run to the dirtiest, smelliest area available to roll around in feces. This is one of the most irritating dog behaviors, but there's actually an evolutionary explanation. Historically, dogs had to survive in hostile environments, and one survival strategy was to disguise their scent by rolling around in something with a strong odor, like feces. The problem is, even though nobody is chasing them today, dogs still instinctively roll around in feces occasionally, just to be safe, even if there's no immediate threat. Number 3. Dragging their rear ends along the floor. There's nothing stranger than sitting comfortably in your living room watching TV, only to notice your dogs dragging their rear ends across the floor. This behavior might seem humorous to some, but it's not done for fun. Usually, it indicates something is bothering their rear area. They could be experiencing itchiness, problems with their anal glands, or even irritation and discomfort. If you see your dogs doing this frequently, it's essential to take them to the vet to find out exactly what's going on. Number 2. Eating feces. This behavior is definitely disturbing, but you might be surprised to know just how many dogs actually eat their own feces. Typically, dogs adopt this habit when they're stressed or trying to get a reaction from their owners. Either way, it's important to pay attention and identify what's causing this behavior because, although fairly common, it's almost always stress-related. Eating their own feces usually isn't highly dangerous, but if your dog starts seeking out feces from other animals or dogs, it can pose significant risks of germs, parasites, and diseases. Therefore, it's essential to put a stop to this habit immediately if it occurs. Number 1. Mounting your leg. This behavior is an absolute classic. You've probably experienced awkward moments where, during a casual day or hanging out with friends, your dogs suddenly started mounting your leg or someone else's leg. This embarrassing behavior might mean your dogs have pent-up energy, they're overly excited, or even stressed. Another possibility is that they're simply trying to assert dominance, letting everyone know who's in charge. Whatever the reason, nobody really wants their dogs mounting their legs, So, if this happens frequently, it might be best to consult your veterinarian to rule out any deeper behavioral or health issues. Now that you know all these peculiar things about your dogs, how about learning even more? In the video on your screen right now, I talk about 5 things dogs only do for their favorite humans. Curious? Then click on the screen and continue with me in the amazing world of dogs.